Hey dudes, Atma here, and I'm gonna do Bant humans. I was doing a improvised Tezzeret deck tech earlier, caught myself a cheater. I did a couple other games and recorded them, but they were against some really lame decks. Like a guy had a 100 card deck. There's another guy that just was doing nothing. Those were not interesting videos, so I've uploaded the cheater video, and maybe I'll do another one of those improvise videos later or next. But for now, I'm just going to do Bant humans. So the difference between Bant humans and the Bant mid-range deck is it doesn't have Sylvan Advocate and things like that. It has just the humans from that deck. And since I was playing Topan Freeblade anyway, and Duskwatch Recruiter anyway, and Thalia anyway, it was really just a matter of, oh yeah, and Reflector Mage anyway, human, and Tireless Tracker anyway. It was very, very much a humans deck, but now it takes advantage of a couple more things. One is this guy pumps humans. Two, this guy pumps planeswalkers with counters, and also the renown guys. And this guy is pretty insane. You can get a 2-drop back from your graveyard for free if something died that turn. And sometimes the only thing that had to die is a Evolving Wilds going to the graveyard. So this is really the crux of the whole thing, is Renegade Rallier. Is I made the curve lower, but then all the high drops, and I mean all of the high drops, are just planeswalkers. And as you know, even in like an aggro deck like this, you may as well just run, every planeswalker. Usually the Bant list didn't want to run Nissa, but this one does because it cares a little bit more about counters. And Ajani is just in the correct colors. Now you might wonder, like, is it worth splashing blue just for Tamiyo and Reflector Mage and Skyship Plunderer? Well, probably not just for Skyship Plunderer, although having a flying threat's nice. This deck does not have Avacyn in it, because it's a little bit faster, but that's okay. That's okay, because you'll see. If you just want to make a traditional Bant deck, I mean, it's been around for a while, you know how to do it, but if you want to just take advantage of these human strategies, it's going to be perfectly acceptable, and we'll play some games. Alright, we're going into game 1, Bant humans. Now, as you get going, more and more sets get added, but that doesn't mean that all those new sets are going to revolutionize the meta. This is really just an alternate version of Bant. It's not even necessarily a better version. It's just alternate. And that's going to be just what you're going to have to do. And it basically had to be alternate because the only thing that you could even add to old Bant is the new Ajani. And that just isn't worth a video. So instead of just making old Bant, I made a whole new deck for the sake of the video that gets a few more things in there. And the Skyship Plunderer, and getting the Ajani in there, and the Rallier, certainly worth a video to see how those guys work. Of course, this hand has all the golden oldies, so we're not exactly getting to do that, but I usually like to lead with Topan Freeblade because I don't care if it gets killed that much, and having a 3/3 Vigilance is pretty good upside if it connects first. Duskwatch Recruiter is an argument for it, but against Grixis like this, it's almost assuredly a control deck, and I would bet anything they would kill it. And I would rather have Duskwatch Recruiter later. In fact, I probably won't play it next. I'll probably play Lambholt Pacifist. These Tireless Trackers will be good in a control matchup as well. Fatal Push. So the Lambholt Pacifist will be good if he doesn't have another Fatal Push or a Horribly Awry, because he'll be forced to not let it flip, more than likely. Use one of these to get a Plains. He did have the Fatal Push, so that's just lucky. Because he only has 3 of those in his deck, and he had 2 of them in his opening hand, basically. So if he has like a Liliana here or something, then we're really up against it. If he just is going to pass and counterspell us, that's a little bit brutal, but yeah, Planeswalker. So we're up against it. I mean, double Fatal Push is what I feared, and that is what he had. So we're going to have to play some Tireless Tracker games, I think. Start digging back into it. I'm not going to get too greedy with the Tireless Tracker and wait to get both of them. I'm just going to Evolving Wilds this one, and then I'll single the next one if this one dies. And I would bet anything that this one dies. The Heron's Grace Champion will be pretty good at fighting a board wipe at some point, but probably not right this second. This Tezzeret may just end up winning the game because of the double Fatal Push. If he didn't have double Fatal Push, he wouldn't have been able to play the Tezzeret last turn. He would have had to kill something first instead, or he would have had to Tezzeret and just have it take damage, which we know he didn't want to do. So, all right, so he'll play this and then kill the tracker, probably. Tezzeret's Touch. So this guy's going pretty deep. Okay. I think I'm just going to crack this now, because playing two things doesn't really seem like it's going to benefit me that much. He's going to kill one or the other, and then he's just going to sit on defense anyway. I would rather play this Duskwatch Recruiter next turn and activate its ability to gain a card. We need to find a Reflector Mage to deal with this thing anyway. More than likely, he'll just play an artifact and kill this Tireless Tracker, but if he, for whatever reason, doesn't have an artifact, then we get to survive a turn. But if he has like Obnixilis, then we just lose the game, because what are you going to do against Fatal Push, Tezzeret? Yeah, so removal, sure. It's bad. It's going bad. The guy certainly had everything. So there's basically no way to win at this point. I don't think. I think we attack this Tezzeret, though. Get his artifacts off the board. This was brutal. Guy had a very good hand. The Unlicensed Disintegration was like insulting that he had that on top of everything else. Nissa. Well, Nissa lets us chump block, which is pretty damn good. 1, 2, 3. So we can do Nissa and then flash in Heron's Grace Champion and then swing and bring him down to like 1 loyalty, that is. Once we find our Reflector Mage, this thing won't be as nearly as problematic as it is right this second. We could actually just kill the Tezzeret if he has nothing, which would be nice. I doubt he's going to have nothing, but we could do it. If he attacks Nissa with this and we chump block, we flash in Heron's Grace Champion, activate this land minus Nissa, and kill Tezzeret. But he has to have nothing in that case, or we get kind of punished. But what are we going to do? This is like desperation time for sure. That attack against me makes me think that he had like a burn spell that he was keen on killing us with, or another unlicensed disintegration. In fact, I would bank on unlicensed disintegration. Alright, so we're up against it. Activate this. Suppose I should play this. If he has unlicensed disintegration, we'll know pretty quickly. Alright, we're climbing out of it. So if he attacks, I'm actually going to save this recruiter because I want to activate its ability. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. If he wants to whirl a rogue, me or Nissa, I don't care. I actually would prefer if he killed Nissa because I don't really want her around. Anyway, or I don't need her around. I would love to have her around. Don't get me wrong. She and I are good friends, but I would rather not take 5 damage to the face. Yeah. And he doesn't want me to have a 5/5 lifelink either, so that makes sense. What we really need here is a Reflector Mage. We have options because we can draw with the clues, or we can just activate this. Battle at the bridge. Okay, so that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Because you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can kill the lifelink guy. That's pretty rough. This guy's draw was excellent. It's not a Reflector Mage. Let's start with this. It digs a little deeper. It's not a Reflector Mage either. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could play this. Yep, I'm going to activate this one more time. That's not a Reflector Mage, but it is a lifelink guy. Unfortunately, we're still forced to basically take 7 this turn, so we're just super up against it. But next turn we can get... Oh, God. Oh, my God. That is disgusting. We just lost the game. That is a loss. That is exactly 11. He gives 2 things unblockable, and then he has 11 unblockable. Well, this guy's the luckiest guy ever, so I don't even give a shit. You got to see a deck be really lucky, and I'm pretty sure we could have turned the corner quite easily. So, yeah, that was... Jesus. Alright. Game 2. That first one was pretty ridiculous. Quite sure that we were favored to win. In most cases. If we had one Reflector Mage, we would have taken half as much damage. If he didn't have any one of those 4 kill spells he played exactly on time, we would have gained life. I mean, it's just, that was just unbelievable, actually. It was actually unbelievable what occurred. Well, this hand is weird. A lot of tapped land. I can fix that slightly. But we get to protect our guys if somebody has 4 kill spells again. We get to eat one of them. So this is basically a green-white deck. It splashes blue, so you usually only need one blue. So this Evolving Wilds is for sure going to be getting a white. 2-drop would be nice. Of course not. I'm not going to play Tireless Tracker on turn 3 for no value against black-red, since there's plenty of removal in black and red. And the most likely scenario is I don't play the Evolving Wilds either. I probably play... Oh, maybe I do. Maybe I do. I don't know. I want to leave this Blossoming Defense up, but it's going to be a little tough. I should have played the Glacial Fortress this turn. That was a mistake. I need a 2-drop. That's another Heron's Grace champion. Yeah. I'm going to do it the slow way. This guy's going to be playing aggro based on this Titan strength, but we have 2 lifelink guys, and I really don't want to just have him eat my Tireless Tracker for no value whatsoever. I would rather take 2 or 3 or possibly 6 damage from this one thing just to have this Blossoming Defense. It's totally worth it. Yep, so that's 6 damage. But he only has 2 of those left. I assume he's doing it to scry. If we had a Blessed Alliance here, he'd get pretty badly punished and lose the game. Although we're pretty low ranked. This is one of the lowest ranks I've ever had when making a video. But that's largely due to trying to make improvise work, and it's been tough. Alright, so that's a pretty good draw, but not for this turn. So we'll Tireless Tracker, Clue, and see if he's got a Fatal Push or something crazy. Another thing about the Rallier with Revolt is you can sacrifice a Clue to trigger the Revolt, which is nice. Technically as a permanent, despite being a token. Fiery Impulse, predictable as fuck. Oh, he has another red, so murder, sure. Why not? This is what we're up against in this world, folks. He has a creature, he has more life, and he has kill spells to back up his kill spells, and we still only have one more card in our hand than him somehow. It's just unbelievable. But that's the way it goes. We're going to try and ambush him with this Heron's Grace champion this time, I believe. Yep, that's going to be the plan. Heron's Grace. Gave her our best shot to protect our guy. Couldn't do it. If I get to trade a Heron's Grace champion with this instead of having it get murdered, that would be a joy. If I get to eat it outright because he doesn't have a spell, then it's even more joyous. But I'm pretty sure he's going to have a spell based on the fact that this video has gone horrendously so far. Pause. Nope. Just a pump spell, I guess. I'll be happy to gain 3 life, though. Ooh, wow. Do we really win this game? Oh, he gets to finish it off. That's pretty unfortunate. That's a 2-for-1, though. And a 2-for-1 that gained us 3 life. Can't really, can't complain about that. Reflector Mage, that's pretty good. I want to be a little more cautious with our things here, so let's see if we find a different creature. Reflector Mage. Alright. I may not play the Heron's Grace champion, and if he plays something, I may just Reflector Mage it. And I will Reflector Mage that. Certainly. Ooh. That I will Reflector Mage. In fact, I'll Reflector Mage both things. Let's see. This. I'm gonna play this guy instead. Because next turn I can attack Heron's Grace Champion, pump the guys, and then Thalia's Lieutenant them all. Not necessarily in that order. Okay, this is a pointless attack. It's a very bad attack. Ajani. I want to do my humans plan first. Although I don't get to gain life because this isn't a human anymore. I will Ajani. Yeah. Let's take all those humans. It's kind of pointless to get 2 nuts here and try and do 5 damage when we've got so much gas. And I don't want him to haste a vehicle in or something and kill us. Like, our dream would be him playing 2 things here and flipping our Kralin Wolf Hoarder. And it looks like that's what he's going to be able to do. He pretty much has to play the 4/4 here. I don't think he can actually afford to hold it back to try and keep it on this side. 2 damage to us, 2 damage to Ajani. That doesn't mean anything. We want to draw a land here, I think. Thalia. Let's see what happens. Let's get all the things. So I think what we need to do is we still need to bounce this thing. So Reflector Mage. We don't have any 2-drops in here to go off with Rallier, but if we get another Evolving Wilds, we can do it. Alright, so he left the game, but I'm just going to play, just to show you how the deck's working. Not that it's like a surprise or anything. Actual insanity is what this is. Despite how badly last game went, this game went pretty nicely. Alright, see you in the next one. Magic Duels, Game 3, going on. One thing that bums me out about these videos is that you can make a video trying to showcase some of the new Aether Revolt cards, and you might draw them, but you might not play them, or you might not draw them. I mean, even though there's some stuff like to draw, you just don't. It's like, it's sad. It's sad is what it is. All right, so this is a interesting one. You can Skyship Plunderer and then Thalia's Lieutenant and put a counter on Skyship Plunderer and make it a 4/3 on turn 3, if he doesn't kill it, that is. Or you can Topan Freeblade, try and get the counter on the play. I usually like to play Topan Freeblade first, even with the upside of Skyship Plunderer, especially against red, because blocking and defending is good, although this icon indicates a blue. There's a lot of blue here. So it's probably a spells deck. There's even white. I think it's probably just blue-red. See, because if you look at my icon, it's got green and blue and white in the background. It says Bant. I like to just give away my whole deck with that icon. Smuggle. The smuggler. Well, if we tally his lieutenant, which I think would be a little premature, we would get our Topan Freeblade into a pretty good spot. If we Skyship Plunderer, it'll probably make him keep this Smuggler's Copter on defense if he doesn't have a kill. Because the Skyship Plunderer does go off. I think the upside of playing Skyship Plunderer and perhaps getting a counter on Tamiyo is high enough to where it's worth throwing it out there and seeing if he burns it. Because this is a huge threat, especially if it threatens to ult Tamiyo. Well, in this case, it could be as many as 2 turns early. Oh, he is in fact American, so this could be a Radiant Flames. Although it doesn't kill Topan Freeblade right this second. That's interesting. So now he has a flyer one way or the other. The question is, would I trade? Okay, so he does not have flyer one way or another. He's just going to attack. Well, he can chump block this Skyship Plunderer, and I'm going to allow him to do it. Mainly because I get 7 damage in. I don't think he can race that. In a perfect world, we could just Tamiyo. Maybe it is a perfect world. We can't because he's got the energy. So the world is not perfect after all. I think in this case, the best course of action is to put it on this guy. Even though the 3 toughness doesn't get over Smuggler's Copter, super incentivizing him to chump block with Smuggler's Copter is a perfectly reasonable trade, since quite a bit of damage has been done. Westvale Abbey. So he's probably got a lot of Thopters that he's thinking about trying to turn into an Ormondal. An Ormondal against us is not the end of the world because we always have Reflector Mage, especially once he shows Westvale Abbey. If you ever have Reflector Mage in your deck and you see a Westvale Abbey, I would just sandbag it, let them do their thing. If you can chump block the 9 damage, let them gain life, and bounce it, it's a pretty good trade. So this guy's a little bit overly aggressive if he's going to actually try and activate the Smuggler's Copter. I think I'll Tamiyo and try and gain life this next turn, pretty much no matter what. Oh, Valor and Akros. Okay, so he could just explode on us with a Whirler Rogue or something next turn. In that case, I wish that we would draw Heron's Grace Champion. Oh, that makes me not want to Tamiyo nearly as much. Okay. We're going to do it this way. Just not getting to Tamiyo. That is disappointing. Let's do it all. This is a lethal attack. That ain't gonna be enough. That ain't gonna be enough. Alright. Let's kill his thing. This is a pretty safe place to be. Outside of him playing exactly a Plains and exactly Planar Outburst. Because Radiant Flames is no longer enough. So he wants to get the Smuggler's Copter and extra damage on it, but that seems pointless because there's just absolutely no way he can kill us. That's what he can do. 5 damage. This guy's deck's a little bit slow. Even though we didn't really get to do it, under normal circumstances, I could plus right here. And then when this hits, well, I mean, it wouldn't hit because of the Thopter, but when it hits, I would get to put a counter on Tamiyo, put it at 6, and then I can attack with this next turn and then ult it. Like, you can ult Tamiyo in basically one turn if you already have the Skyship Plunderer on board. It's pretty nuts. I'll do one more, though, to make up for that first game going so bad against that janky-ass Tezzeret's touch bullshit. Alright, folks, round 4. This icon is Hooded Man in the Desert, which means that they didn't bother changing it. This is the default. Our opponent's name is Opponent. And he's rank 40, which means he's probably not fucking around. We can actually cast multiple things here. I would suspect he's probably like a 5-color Planeswalker deck or super aggro. I don't know what Aether Hub turn 1 means. We don't have anything that makes us need 2 Evolving Wilds right this second. Red. Okay, so we might be on a spells deck here. I'm going to play the Skyship Plunderer with hopes of getting an extra counter on Nissa. But I would imagine that it's going to get burned instead. it's not... I usually don't like to ult this Nissa, but I will against spells. Because unless he's like a... If he's the tutelage version, then it's much more urgent than that, but... Green. Visionary. So we're starting to get towards 5 colors. We got green and red and blue. Hopefully he doesn't have a 1 mana burn spell, because we get to do stuff. So that's how that thing works. Plussing on Ajani isn't quite as insane. You do get to ult him a turn early, but he starts at 4 loyalty, ults at 9. 5/1/1 counters on any creature each creature you control is pretty insane. He also puts 5 loyalty counters on other planeswalkers. That's one reason I put other planeswalkers in this deck, is just so that there was more things for Ajani to do. This guy's deck doesn't seem like a rank 40 deck, but maybe it is. It's pretty weird. I don't usually put Elvish Visionary in my... do I care about that? I actually do. I actually do care. Ooh, Renegade Rallier. So I like Renegade Rallier a lot. I'll show you why. Although it's usually better with a Tireless Tracker on board. So you sack the Evolving Wilds, get your planes, Renegade Rallier, return Evolving Wilds, and you kind of ramp. Get to play Ajani a turn early if we draw a land. It's pretty sweet. I'm certainly not keen on ulting this Nissa against what's more than likely... Well, you know what? Now that he's got black, he certainly is now 4 colors, so he's just a white away. I think that he's a... I think he's a Necromantic Summons deck, actually, for some reason. Although this Ember Eye... What the fuck is this guy doing? Tell me in the comments what the fuck this guy is doing. What is he doing? This is weird. I really just badly want to get a land and play this Ajani. That is not a land. But you know what? It's pretty good. Feels like a Necromantic Summons deck. And play this. Minus on the team. Nothing quite gets over Languish yet. Blossoming Defense, that seems reasonable. Opponent's still not doing anything recognizable as a strategy. What, you draw 3 cards this time? Yep. Hope you got something, man, because this looks bad. You're not doing anything, man. What is going on? He's got to give up. Like, this is over. Reflector Mage. Seemed like a bad time to do that. 2 Planeswalkers go to the bottom. Gross. Alright. So I could pump the team and then pump the team. And then pump the guy. Them's the snakes. We did it. Kablamo. Alright, so that's Bant humans. I like it. Maybe you'll like it too. Tell me all about it in the comments. I also want to note that I've got a Twitch channel. I just started up. And I don't have a webcam. I can start streaming though. It's user Atmadog, as you would guess. Check it out sometime. Sometimes I stream. Check out if it's live. I don't know. Shit. Good night. Have a good one. Enjoy your life. Get that magic. It's sweet magic. Make magic. Make magic happen for you and your family. Be good to one another. High five when you get a chance. How many times are you going to get a chance to high five in your life, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like fist bump people. Do that explosion thing after it happens. Make a connection, people. Know me? Know me?